What's up, YouTube? This is Ethan RC1000 coming to you with another video about my Exceed Maxstone10. This is a 10 scale crawler. The body's not on it. This is the electronics. And I had a little bit of a problem, so I was out in the backyard doing some crawling, and the right rear got a little tangled up in some weeds. So I gave it some gas. You heard a little click. I didn't think much of it. Still couldn't get it out of there, so I just pulled it out, plopped it on the ground, and I noticed it was moving much slower than it normally does. Excuse me. And when I held it up, and the front two were spinning much faster, and so was the left rear. So I broke it down, and I found out in my rear differential, over here, let's move the camera a little bit, within the axle, the axle shaft on the right broke. So I went to my book, which comes with the truck, and that's the front unit. This is the rear unit, and I found out I needed the 1800. I needed this piece right here. It is an 1807. So then I went on to nitrorcs.com, and I got some stuff. I have it right over here. And I had to spend $25 to get free shipping. So I got these aluminum hex adapters. The 1807 I needed. Comes with 2 of them. And I got 2 of those, because figured it broke once, so it'll probably break again. So I have 4. Just in case. I'm going to set one bag on the bench and the other one off to the side, because I only need 1. And I got half shafts, drive shafts, axles, for the left side of the truck, because it might break on the left side too. So I'm going to go ahead and open this package up. And the part number for this is 1807. So on both sides. There we go. So this is a new one. It's the stock replacement for the old one. And you may notice this one's longer because this one broke. This is the broken part. And it just snapped right there. Now, I already went ahead, and obviously I have the rear axle taken apart. What you have to do is, to get to this point, you have to take all the linkage off, the screws that would mount there, and then I just took the wheels off to make sure this is the left, yes, this is the left side. There's 2 screws, one on the top, one on the bottom, and a little dog bone at the end of this, how it goes together. Now, you look on here, we have a little E-clip with a bearing, holding a bearing in place here. I can look on this side, I can see the little slot and where the bearing would go to. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my Duratrax E-clip tool. This is really handy if you're not too great with needle-nose pliers and E-clips. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the right size. Did I get it on the first try? No. Got it on the second try. So it's a 4mm E-clip. I'm going to go ahead and just line the teeth up and try and slide it off here. Okay, there we go. I got the E-clip removed. And now I'm going to go ahead and just slide this bearing right off. The E-clip took a little while. I used a flat-bladed screwdriver and got in the little crevice on the E-clip there to just slide it off. So I'm going to go ahead and set the broken part off to the side here. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab my bearing And I'm just going to go ahead and slide it right on here. Like so. Slides over. All the way down onto the bottom here. Bearing seated nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the E-clip. And there's a little groove in here where you have to get it on. A little dusty. You just gotta push it on. I'm going to go ahead and grab my E-clip tool here. And I need the... Oh boy, that E-clip put up a pretty big fight. I ended up having to start it with my E-clip tool here. And then take pliers and just really squeeze it on. Alright. So now I'm going to go back to reinstalling it. Now within here this is flat on two of the sides. And the top and bottom are curved. So you got to go ahead and line it up right here on your differential. And just slide it in. Alright. You want to try to make this as even as possible. Everything's in there nice and solid. So I'm going to go ahead and slide it back onto here. Make sure the bearings line up. This side is not seated, this side is. Up, seated now. Everything spins. Looking good. So I'm going to go ahead and put the cover back on. Which is right here. Make sure you have everything all lined up nicely. Go ahead and grab my screwdriver. Oh, gotta put the nut in first. Always helps. Now what's nice is on the bottom here, can't see with the lighting, but now you can. There's a little hex for this, and then this has to slide right in here like so. You gotta take this and tighten it in. Now that, with the way that hex is set up, it makes it so you don't need a cross wrench like the one right there, because that just goes right into the plastic, and that's not gonna move. Now I'm gonna go ahead and tighten up the other side. Same thing as with the other side. They're both like that. And you want to make sure these are nice and tight, so this way no dirt and debris can get into the axle housing in the back here. There we go, that's nice and tight. And now the rear is the truck runs on a 3-link system setup, I should say, and there's this little piece right here that goes on right there, and this is the next piece that goes on. Go ahead and tighten this up. Now again, this piece also helps keep the differential nice and tight. Now I could be using a drill on this, but I'm not going to because it's going into plastic. And plus you just have more control when it's your own arm doing the turning. Yep, those are nice and tight. Okay, so now that's done. I'm going to go ahead and reinstall the rear bumper. I'm going to be taking this off soon, but not yet. So I'm going to go ahead and reinstall it. What I did was I put the screws in it, so this way when I put it off to the side I didn't lose any of the screws. This way I remember what screws went where. Make sure you apply a little pressure because these are going into plastic and you want them to bite. Now it's the same trick on the other side, using the needle nose pliers and starting it by hand. Just need to make some threads visible. Now the other side is able to slide it through. This side I had to thread it through with the screwdriver here. Go ahead and just loosely thread that on by hand. Go ahead and grab your pliers. You don't know those pliers, so you can get in there. There we go. Both sides are on now. Suspension's looking good. Now I'm going to go ahead and just do a little test right here by hand. Everything is spinning smoothly. That's the broken side there. Other side, everything's spinning nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my little things over here that go on the sides of the vehicle. I don't know what to call these, but this is a little part that goes on the end of the drive shaft, I mean the axle here, which then goes out to the dodge bone in here. So this just slides right over the end of the axle. It's a pretty snug fit, because you gotta line up the grooves. Grab the screwdriver. Whoops. Now there's 2 screws on this, one on either side. If you don't have one of these, so you can see. Can't really see from the camera, but there's one on the other side too. You just want to thread both of them in nice and snugly, because this will also help keep dirt and debris, sand, it won't keep water. They're not waterproof, but it'll help stop stuff from getting inside the axle here. Now over here is a little tough because you have the screw that's here. Oh, down over here. Like so. It's hard to see. I'll get you in closer in a second once I get this screw in. Now the screw here gets in the way of the screwdriver, so you have to come in on an angle. I'll show you guys this in a second. There we go, that's nice and snug. Okay, so go ahead and take the camera off. I'm going to show you right here how we have this screw right here. It gets in the way of putting this screw in there. You can't really come in straight because it'll hit, so you have to come in on an angle. This way you clear the chassis too. Okay, so now go ahead and install this. Now, pop it back on. You want the little arm facing to the back of the car for the linkage setup. You also want to make sure you come in nice and square so you can hear that little click, like so. And then go ahead to the front now. Now I'm at the same problem that I had on the other side with that little screw. But remember, we found a way to fix that by coming in from the side here. So that's what I'm going to do. You want to be careful you're not cross-threading it by coming in from the side. So just take your time when you're, especially when you're threading into plastic here. And you don't want to over tighten either because it can bend the plastic, and in this case here, it's a big pain in the butt to redo. There we go. That's nice and tight. Now I can go, and one's not in there. I'm going to go ahead and install the one that goes on the top. Now some of you may have noticed that on the axle itself there are those two little stubs right there. Wondering maybe I forgot to install something, but I didn't. This is the same axle as the front too. So what those are for is a servo plate where you can mount a servo for rear steer. And that's pretty cool. That could be something I'd look to do in the future with this vehicle, putting rear steer on it. Now I'm going to go ahead and same thing on the other side, but this side has the tire and the linkage still set up. This wasn't the side that was broken, so I just left this as assembled as possible. So I'm going to go ahead, that's lined up like so, that gets pushed on, and then I have to line up for the dodge bone we have here, and then boom, that's on. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the screwdriver and zip the screw that goes on the back in there like so. Now I can go ahead and install the linkage here. This goes straight down onto a little piece that's right there. Right. This goes over here on top of the little arm. So we have this screw that comes down, passes through that. Now, gotta make sure you push it down all the way. You have this really small little nut. And just grab your pliers. Nope. Set those off to the side. A T-wrench will be better. So you can just pop it right there. Up. Let me move over to the side here, a little better position. You want to thread this on the bottom here. I'll take you guys off so you can see a little better. Now come down back here like so. Grab your little T-wrench and your screwdriver from the top. These are nylon, so you can't thread all the way by hand. If you want to thread it, make sure you have this nice and snug, because you don't want any play in the back here. Sorry, I keep moving the camera out of the way. There we go. That's nice and snug, like so. And I'm going to go ahead and move back over here. We have this little arm right there. That's going to go ahead and attach that arm. Go ahead and put you back on the tripod. I'm going to go ahead and attach this little arm. Lift this screw over here. Here we go. Just thread this in again. Make sure you're not over tightening, but you don't want it too loose either, because otherwise it'll fall apart. Now following these aluminum headsets, I'm gonna go ahead and put in this video. Go ahead and just open this one up, and I'll show you guys how these are packaged in a plastic bag. Then internally here you have this thing, 2 in a bag, and you get extra pins. I'm not going to go ahead and open that up yet. I'll keep those as backups, because lose a drive pin, it's not a great day. I'm going to go ahead and just open this up. There we go. Now, the quality of aluminum on this is actually really nice, because the whole truck itself really only costs about $140 with shipping. And these just slide off real easily. And go ahead and give you guys a little bit of a close-up here. Now, you have this little pin, and you want to line it up, because on here you have a little pin slot right there, the pin to go on. Go ahead and set you right there. you want to get everything all lined up. I'm going to go ahead and just, pin fell out. Go ahead and just line everything up, like so. Make sure everything's on correctly. Line the pin up. You hear that little snap, and boom, you have aluminum heads. Now you gotta go around and do that on all 4 sides. And after that, I'm gonna pop you back up to the tripod. Up, down, up, down. And then I'm just so off this side now. Put our wheel back on. Align that hex. Slide it over like there. And then where'd my little T go? Oh, it's over here. Everything's flying in the studio now. And go ahead and tighten this down here. Make sure it's nice and tight now. And there we go. That was a video on how to fix the broken axle in the back. Didn't take too long. Just a little E-clip problem slowed us down in the beginning. And that's going to be it for this video. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe. And to all my fellows up YouTube, later.